Welcome to Hot Take. Today is August 30th, 2018, and my name is Matt Adams. Joining me today are Andrew Myrick and Kean Rick. Guys, it's been a crazy couple days with everything IFA going on. Are you ready to dig into what we got going on?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to start off with a new phone. Actually, we got lots of big phone news today, but today we're going to start off with kind of a budget device coming out. The BlackBerry Key2 was released earlier this year, and now we're seeing the Key2 LE, and that's just a more affordable version from BlackBerry. So the biggest changes are the build materials. It is built with a cheaper polycarbonate body instead of a aluminum alloy that we saw earlier this year. And also the keyboard's not going to have any touch gestures, which that really stinks. That was one of the best things about the phone when I reviewed it. A couple of other big differences are it's not going to be as powerful, different processor. This one will have the Snapdragon 636 instead of the new 660 that came out earlier this year. It'll have less RAM, only 4 gigabytes instead of 6 gigabytes, less storage. It'll have either 32 gigs or 64 gigs instead of 64 or 128, and a smaller battery at 3,000 milliamp hours instead of 3,500 milliamp hours. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think this is a compelling option for people who are looking to save a little bit of money but still be power users?
I think it's actually better for BlackBerry than anybody else just because they're trying to get back way into the mainstream like they used to be. And pricing their phones at $700 like they have been may not be as lucrative as they think it can be. So a $400 Key 2, which is pretty much the same except for the touch features, just like a plasticky version of it, I don't think that'd be a bad idea at all.
No, but those gestures are
What make the phone the
amazing.
phone?
Yeah, I mean, no, because the keyboard is the keyboard, and that's what BlackBerry lovers want is that tactile keyboard. If they keep the keyboard the same minus the touch gestures in terms of like the hardware of the keyboard, I think it'll be fine. But having a smaller battery, having less RAM, and having no touch gestures kind of, in my opinion, it kind of sucks. But for $400, like that's really
Yeah.
you can't really argue with that.
Especially since the battery is not like 2,000, it's still 3,000. It's not, a terribly small
No,
battery.
no, I mean the 636 should still do a decent job at like software management or RAM management and stuff, so to make sure that you're not getting any stupid battery drains or anything like that. I just would have liked to probably see them maybe bump the price to 449 for the base model and keep the 3,500 milliamp hour battery. Because let's be honest, how much does a battery really cost a company like the people behind BlackBerry?
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how much manufacturer stuff costs.
I just don't think it's. I don't think. I think bumping it up to 449 and keeping the 3,500 milliamp hour battery would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah, I honestly I agree with you. Battery life is actually really good on the Key2. So you'll probably get pretty decent battery life with just a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, because when you think about it, it's only got like a 4.5 inch display at 1080p.
Yeah.
But this is also, pointed at people who want to be productive with their phones, and having that multi-day battery. I mean, for me, that would have been like a massive selling point, because these people are always on their phones sending emails, and you know, so that would have
I'm
made a lot
still
more
hoping
sense.
for the days where we can get the proper Moto Z Play replacement.
Yeah, I don't think that's
That
ever
phone never
coming.
died.
It's beautiful. I still have one.
Of course you do.
Yeah, that
So,
battery pack by Motorola.
if you guys are interested in the BlackBerry Key2, it's going to be out starting in September. It'll come to Canada, France, Germany, the UAE, UK, and USA, and the base model is $399, like Andrew was saying. And if you want to bump up to the 64 gig model, it's $449. But This thing supports micro SD cards, so why would you do that? And just to give you a little perspective, the Key2, which was released earlier this year, that has the better specs, $649 at AT&T. So it costs quite a bit more. About $200 for the 64 gig models. So it'll be interesting to see if this one takes off, or maybe this is something that's pointed at companies who need to buy a fleet of phones and would rather spend $400 on phones than $650. So we'll have to see. Keenan, why don't you take our next story?
Yeah, so Sony also launched their new Xperia XZ3, which is powered by their Brava TV technology. The phone's a 6-inch phone with a 2.2 to 1 18:9 display. Sony is just now using the OLED technology with HDR support, which they've never done before. Along with that Bravia TV technology, that will help the phone deliver more accurate details, better depth, better textures when looking at pictures or watching videos. The phone's display is also rounded, similar to what Samsung's latest flagship models have been doing. The XZ3 has Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back. It has larger, more powerful speakers. It has a 19 megapixel main camera on the back. It's also one of the first phones to be announced with Android 9 Pie. And of course, it's waterproof, has a 3300 milliamp battery, supports micro SD card, and comes with 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage. So yeah.
So does it? We were just talking about this before we started. The overall design is okay. In my opinion, the overall design's okay until you get to the display, because it just seems like Sony just stretched out the screen to the sides and then slapped like too big a forehead and a chin on it. Do you feel the same way about that?
I feel like on the front it looks like a Samsung phone, and then on the back it looks like, I don't know, an Xperia. Not like a, not like the latest
like new,
ones. Yeah.
The like new design language. They're finally moving away from like the blockiness and stuff.
Right. Which I actually like.
Yeah, I mean it makes it's kind of easier to hold it in the hand that way, but people also want curved phones.
Yeah. I
So,
don't know why.
do you think it matters when an OEM, when a manufacturer comes out and says we're going to be the first to release a phone with like the latest version of Android on it?
I think it matters to enthusiasts and for the company itself, just to say, hey, I was the first one to do this. I think for general consumers, you still have to get over beating out Samsung. Like, Samsung doesn't really come out and say, hey, this is the latest version of Android, because half the people don't care, and the other half of people probably don't even do updates. So I don't know for the mass public it matters, but definitely for enthusiasts, definitely for the company itself for bragging rights.
So the thing that interested me was that display that they talked about, and they spent a lot of time talking about it. Does this really mean anything, or is this kind of just like buzzwords for their new display? We all know that Sony makes awesome TVs, but can they really translate that to phones?
I don't know. Weren't they were also the first one to do a 4K display on the phone, and I don't know if that technology obviously didn't go anywhere, but I think they're trying to see what matters, I guess, because 4K on a mobile phone doesn't really matter. So they're trying to see, does this advanced TV technology on the phone matter?
Well, Sony's not going to matter if they don't sell some phones in some stores in the United States. Come on, Sony.
Best Buy is not doing a good job advertising your phone, Sony.
No. So, are there any other cool features about this that we didn't talk about yet?
Looking at it, I mean, you also have PS4 Remote Play, which is neat for people like me who own a PS4, unlike Andrew.
So what is PS4 Remote Play for those who don't know?
It allows you to use your phone as sort of a second screen for your PlayStation 4, so you can either get information, you can do cool things like call in certain features just by using your phone. You can start up your PlayStation just by using your phone. So it allows you to have like a second controller of sorts, but not a necessarily main controller. And then you can also use it for what is it, PlayStation Now, PS Now, or PS Go, whatever
Oh,
their
like the
streaming
streaming.
service. Yeah, the streaming service.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't play like your. So if you go up and pick up, Destiny 2 on disc, you can't like play that on your. Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
You're not doing that.
That's why the Switch is better.
There's a lot of arguments to be said about that, Andrew.
All right.
Do we know anything? Have they said anything about pricing yet, or is this like a hey, we'll tell you later?
I believe it was a hey, I'll tell you later. 'Cause I don't even think they did an
that's
official date either.
Okay.
Sure.
Because that's going to be kind of a. I think it'll be interesting to see what they price this at, given what Samsung's doing to the market.
What would you price it at, Andrew?
This has to be $850, right?
It would. I think that's what it's going to be priced at. But with 4 gigs of RAM, okay battery, you could probably get away going $650. But that's me being hopeful.
Yeah, I was thinking around the 700, 750 area.
I mean, you could price it. You could come out and price it right as the G7, right what the G7 is at.
If the Pixel 3 is going to release with the Snapdragon 845, which has been out all year, and 4 gigs of RAM, and they're going to charge $850 to $950 for that thing, there's no way that this phone is less than $850. No way.
Okay, but if the phone is $850, how many sales do you think it's going to do in America at least?
None.
I don't think it's going to do anything in America anyways, because it's impossible to get them.
Until they get on with a carrier again, it's not going to happen.
Oh, the good old days of going into a T-Mobile store and looking at Sony phones. I miss you.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew, take us home. What's our last one for today?
Speaking of the Pixel 3,
we
finally got leaked images of the regular Pixel 3, or the Pixel 2 XL Mini, as I want to call it. It is the picture showed off. His hands-on picture showed us the phone on front and back, along with a few screenshots showing off specific specs. It's glass and metal on the back, which is expected. The glass window on the back above the fingerprint scanner has like a different design. It's like curved into the edges a little bit more and a little bit slightly rounded coming down. And in the front, we have my favorite part, no notch. We have a 18:9 aspect ratio display, 5.5 inches, dual front-facing speakers, Snapdragon 845, 4 gigs of RAM. I wish it was 8 gigs of RAM. 4 gigs of RAM, a 2,915 milliamp hour battery, dual 8-megapixel front cameras, which is not surprising, since that's what we're also expecting to see from the Pixel notch. But looking at what I made a comment to Matt earlier, it just literally looks like a mini version of the Pixel 2 XL, which Matt can attest to this. I've been begging for, because the Pixel 2 itself I don't want to deal with the gigantic chins anymore.
So you still have to deal with the chin in the Pixel.
Yeah, but you get dual front-facing speakers on it.
There's still nothing really there. You don't need the chin.
Also, it's ugly as hell.
Thank you.
Wait, which one's ugly?
Both of them.
No.
Not having anything in the chin and still having a chin makes the phone look ugly.
Yes.
Keaton, you're a Pixel warrior. How are you going to sit here and tell me that both phones are ugly?
I mean, I still love the Pixel because Google says I'm going to love this phone, so I still love the phone. But if I were designing it, I would do something much different. Well, not much different, but slightly different.
I don't know.
Yeah, you would make the Pixel 3, the regular Pixel 3, is what you would do.
No,
I'd make the Pixel
3 XL, the P20 Pro.
The Pixel 3 is disgustingly ugly.
Oh, I see. I can't.
Literally a Pixel 2 XL.
And it's ugly
just
too.
a mini version.
It's ugly too.
Oh my god. No, it's not.
That is.
We're all three on different sides. It's so weird. A Panda Pixel 3, and I would be excited, but I'd still go with the XL because there's going to be some feature. There's going to be something that's not on the Pixel 3. I almost guarantee it.
No way.
I actually feel the same way.
No way.
Something's going to be missing.
Something's going to be different or changed or weaker or whatever, and it's going to make me upset.
Why would you think that? They haven't done it the last 2 years. The only thing that's been different is the screen and the or the battery.
That's something
In
though.
the colors.
Well, the colors I don't really mind. I actually got black this year and just covered up with a D brand skin, but still.
No, we're not sponsored by D brand, guys.
I wish.
I feel like you have to say that every time D brand is mentioned. We're not one of those YouTubers. I don't know. I don't see what you guys see in that phone. It is shaped weird. It is not symmetric. The curves are weird. The back is terrible.
Bad pictures.
What?
It's
This is the
You know
flagship
what? Stick to your
Android phone.
OnePlus. Stick to your OnePlus and shut up.
the Note 9 is the flagship Android phone.
No, it's not.
It is the best phone on the market.
That's the consumer phone. The flagship Android phone is Pixel all day.
No, it's not.
No.
The flagship Android phone for non-consumers is the OnePlus 6.
God, no, I can't agree with that.
You're
Dude,
both wrong.
it's flagship. You can buy get a phone with 8 gigs of RAM in it for what?
For what?
$650?
For what? What do I need 8 gigs of RAM for?
So that it lasts for longer than a year.
It makes a big difference. I'm using the
I mean,
LG.
I haven't used a phone with 8 gigs, so I don't, I can't say anything about it.
I have.
But my computer has 8 gigs of RAM, and I don't need a computer in my pocket. I need a phone in my pocket.
That's a terrible comparison, for one.
That's
all I'm gonna say.
You know it.
I tried.
I have a
That
one.
was a bad reach.
I have the 8 gig version of the OnePlus 6 sitting next to me, and also the LG G7, and I can tell. I didn't think I would be able to, but I can tell a massive difference, and that's another reason why I just don't get the love. Like all of these people on Reddit saying, "Oh, I can't wait till this phone comes out. I'm just gonna go pick it up." Like, why? Because it has stock Android. There are so many phones that have stock Android now. Like, I just...
No, there's not.
What, the Pixel? It's more than just stock Android.
Enlighten me.
It's stock Android and the camera processing.
Thank you.
That's fair.
Okay, but
it does have the best
anything with
camera.
The design is still gorgeous anyways.
Ugly. Terribly ugly.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to say to Matt. I just don't know what to tell him or to say to him.
I will say I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get a bump in RAM. I know Kian thinks that computer RAM and phone RAM are the same thing.
I don't think it's the exact same thing.
I would have. They are not. I would have liked to see a bump to 6 gigs. If they do it in the XL and don't do it in the regular, I'm cool with that. But everything we've seen says that both are going to be Snapdragon 845 with 4 gigs of RAM, same cameras.
We've already got the full review of the XL. Like it doesn't have 6 gigs. They're not.
I think there's a. I don't know how I feel about those. I could put my tinfoil hat on, but we need another podcast for that.
I don't know. This is a pass for me.
One other thing attached to the Pixel 3. So now that we already have the Pixel 3 XL like in hands and reviewed, now we have the Pixel 3 in somebody's hands. What do you guys think about these leaks? This Google year of leaks?
I'm over it.
I think it was a place leak that went wrong. Almost like the iPhone 4 in a bar.
Just like, whoops, we were just supposed to have one picture, and oops, we sent out a whole crate of phones.
Yeah, hey, here's a picture of our phone. Next day you get a UPS shows up. Hey, we have a pallet for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset. Like I said on a previous podcast, it's kind of ruining the surprise, but I'm sure Google will announce something that we haven't seen yet, or talk about something within the phones that we don't know yet. Maybe, hopefully.
And that leads me into my favorite part, because it opens up the door for hope. In this leak that we saw today, the guy who posted it said, quote unquote, "I'll also just say that this particular device is part of a testing program through a carrier other than Verizon. So I'd expect that exclusivity to end this year." Can it be coming to Sprint now?
No.
No, it's going to T-Mobile.
It's got to come to more than just 2 carriers, guys. There's 4 of them.
Okay, well, first of all, T-Mobile's buying Sprint or has bought Sprint, so why?
Not yet. It's not official.
why would they invest any more when they know they're getting bought out?
I don't know, because Sprint's going to throw a bunch of money at them and say, hey, we're here.
No.
No.
It's Sprint.
Look,
It's not going to happen.
Being hopeful. I mean, that's what they did with Essential.
And look how well that turned out for Essential. Why would Google do that?
Good old comparison there, Andrew.
Google's not. Hold on. Google's not a startup.
When it comes to their phones, they are. I mean, at least with their design.
No.
I wonder if
It's not a startup,
for
so they can.
General consumerism yet.
It's not a. They can go to Sprint, and they can go to Verizon, and they'll be perfectly fine.
Not if they have a contract with Verizon, they don't.
Yeah, and Sprint does not. I don't think I've ever heard any good, like, PR, good advertising for Sprint recently. Like, everybody says, "Oh, Sprint." Like, everybody knows Sprint has that like negative stigma. So why would you put a phone that you want to sell very well on Sprint?
I mean, it's more consumers, but I see where you're coming from. You want your phone to seem like it's the best phone on the best network, so it seems a little more worthy of that ridiculous price. No.
But even consumers say like, I'm on Sprint, or I'm only on Sprint because I only want to pay like $30 a month or whatever. So
not that cheap.
Well, I know, but they always say like they're on Sprint for either price or it's just that's what they're on. But I don't hear many, if anybody, say like, yeah, I'm on Sprint, and even though I have to pay $90, I've got unlimited everything, and like I don't hear that. So why would I if I were Google, why would I put my phone on Sprint?
Because Google's listening to me and they're listening to this podcast and they know what I want.
Yeah. You hear that, Google? Send us phones.
Google. You Googlers.
Why couldn't we be the ones that you leaked the Pixel 3 to 3 months early?
Or the 3XL.
Whatever.
Just for Andrew.
They're both ugly phones.
The Pixel Notch.
I'll have my Notch and enjoy it.
The Pixel Notch watch.
Oh my god. Notches on watches, y'all.
I find it amazing that you hate notches so much, but you use a iPhone X or iPhone 10 and an LG G7.
Yep.
Who?
You.
Because Apple did it right.
No. That's...
I'm sorry for all our viewers.
Man, should we just wrap it up right there? Because I don't know if we can.
I don't know
keep
if we're gonna get anybody back after that.
I'm sorry, Kian. What phones do you have?
That doesn't matter.
Tell us, Kian.
Both of my phones are not notches. First of all.
You are full of it.
Rocking Pixel 2 XL. Mwah. And other phones.
Yes.
Other unnamed devices.
All right. Well, before this completely spirals out of control, we'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for joining us today. If you liked what you heard, please head over to Google Play Music, iTunes, Pocket Cast, or really anywhere you can find podcasts, and consider subscribing to the podcast. Keep your eye on AndroidGuys.com. Also, we post every time we do a podcast. We post the podcast up there with all of our sources for the information that we talked about, and also some other news that we've seen from around the web. And coming soon, hopefully, if he gets it done, Kian will have our review of the what do you got, the P20 there?
Yes, the P20.
So that'll be coming soon. We've had a couple really nice phone reviews up lately, so go ahead and check those out. And if you like how we sounded today, we just want to let you know that we are sponsored by Blue Microphones. Andrew and I are both using Blue Microphones tonight, so if you would like to pick one up for yourself, head over to AndroidGuys.com, click on the link for this podcast, and you can find a 20% discount code. We absolutely love our Blue microphones, and we're not alone. Blue's an award-winning company and the driving force behind professional musicians, internet creators, and countless elite gaming teams and Twitch streamers. Their Blue Yeti USB microphone is the internet's most popular microphone, And just a little teaser, we will have a review of a new blue product. Not allowed to say what it is yet, and we will be giving one away. So be sure to tune into future podcasts and keep your eyes on AndroidGuys.com for that. For Kian and Andrew, I'm Matt Adams. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.